And one more level down, I ought to be meeting my, my not-so-friend. Oh, yeah. This will be my testimony. Hey! Hi there, everybody. This is your unemployed player of things, once again, playing a thing called Dark Souls, Prepare to Die Edition. Yep, that job I mentioned recently didn't quite work out. And I gotta tell you, it can be a little dispiriting when you work one job for about 13, 14 years, and then your next one craps out in about a month. Well, if nothing else, I know there are a couple thousand people out there who know who I am and join me on a regular basis and watch me play video games, so at least I've got that going for me. Thank you very much. Anyway, last time... What did we do last time? Oh yeah, we made an early run into the depths and beat up the Capra Demon and all that kind of good stuff. And this time we're gonna go take that Ember to Andre, and then we'll see about taking care of the Darkroot Garden. Before we go, though, I did pick up a few items that I did not show the flavor text for, so let's find those and just take a quick look at them. Did I ever look at the indictment? I don't think so. Yes, it is associated with Velka, a goddess of sin, who we've heard a few things about before. And the indicted player is added to a list of unfortunate souls who will one day face the wrath of the Blades of the Dark Moon. That is another PvP covenant centered around invading players based on their sin. Let's see, what else have we got here? I guess we've never really looked at our Titanite. The race to locate the legendary slabs has begun. Yes, there are Titanite slabs, which is the highest grade of standard Titanite, and is needed only to upgrade weapons from plus 14 to the highest level, which is plus 15. And there's the Twinkling Titanite. There's the large ember that we found in the early part of the depths. And it is apparently specifically associated with the blacksmiths of Astora, which is handy for us because that is where Andre comes from. And it allows a weapon to be ascended from plus 5, and then you can take it up to plus 10. After plus 10, you're going to need another ember. And there's our repair box and our new bottomless box. And here's the basement key, which we didn't look at before. Notice it mentions the wild dogs serving the Capra Demon. Oh, and we did acquire from our new and very friendly friend Laurentius a Pyromancy Flame, which we then upgraded to plus 5. Nothing very unusual about it, although it does mention that pyromancers are a particular phenomenon of the Great Swamp, which is where Laurentius is from. So that all stands to reason. Nothing new in the ring department, so okay, let's get this thing a-rollin'. Oh, what's this? Yeah, we hadn't checked in with Petrus here. It seems he's got a couple of friends with him. When did you guys show up?
Oh, hello. My guests have finally arrived. I will be departing with them shortly. So, I'm afraid I will be saying goodbye soon. It was a pleasure.
Oh, well, okay. Nice meeting you, I guess.
Oh, Rhea is the youngest daughter of the good house of Thurland. Those young knights are her old schoolmates, but I'm not sure what to make of them. I'm afraid they may be a bad influence.
That must be Rhea back there praying, apparently to a broken jar. I guess in the absence of a proper altar, you'll take what you can get.
Rhea is the young... but I'm afraid...
Okay, I guess that's all we really need from Petrus.
Come again. The effectiveness of the teachings depend upon your faith.
Excuse me, ma'am.
You are undead as well. Then we've no time to fraternize. I have my mission and you no doubt have yours. We must not let this curse overcome us. Did I not explain the urgency of our tasks? Or are you so uncouth as to lack such judgment? By the looks of you, I should think not. Did I not
If I'm not mistaken, I think we were just given the brush off. Alright, fine. Let's see about the other, clerical-type guys here.
Hmm? What have we here? You look awfully raggedy. Times are grim. The least you can do is look sharp. Don't you dare meet my lady like that. You might scare her off for good.
Too late.
Oh, you again. What business have you? I don't suppose we can help, though. We accompany my lady on her righteous mission. It is quite a chore, but I'm stuck with her. And Nico, too. I can't very well abandon them now. Oh, it's you. We're to leave momentarily. The catacombs aren't exactly my idea of a good time, but what can one do? I do hope we meet again, rare or not.
Very or Nox seems to be the Thurland prayer in Dark Souls, sort of the equivalent of Umbasa from Demon Souls. Well, I have no idea what's up with Nico here, but anyway, just a few more folks that we can add to our growing list of acquaintances. No one as cool as, what's-his-face, Zigmeyer or Laurentius, to be sure. Huh. What's become of Lautrec? Guess he had other business to attend to. Anyway, we're going to head on back up to the parish and do that ember drop-off with Andre. Maybe I'll do a little smithing with him if the opportunity is there. Don't have a lot of money, but maybe enough. I do enjoy leaping downstairs. There's just something pleasing about it. Unfortunately, these are not really spots where I can get myself killed by doing it at the wrong angle. Kinda like I did back over there. How you doing, Andre? Got something for you.
Why, that's a fine ember you have there. I could smith some mighty weapons with one of those. Why not lend it to me?
Oh, how could I resist you, Andre? So dreamy.
Magnificent! You won't be disappointed. I can hardly wait to get started.
So now we could modify our +5 equipment, but we would need a large Titanite shard for that, and we don't have any of those yet. So we shall have to hold off for the time being. And I really want to focus on my great scythe right now anyway. I don't have any regular Titanite, do I? Nope, and we're gonna need 2. And that would be 1600, so I can do that right now. Get that up to +4 at least. And then we would need 3 Titanite shards to get it up to +5 until we start needing large Titanite for that as well. I might as well buy the... Oh wait, no, I can't afford any of those. I'm good at math. Anyway, Darkroot Garden is right down these stairs here on the opposite side to where Andre is facing. We haven't gone there yet, and there will be a rather large enemy waiting for us, but I think we can handle him.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
The fella I'm about to run into is a Titanite demon. And from a distance, they like to chuck lightning at you. Up close, they'll use that big man-catcher, often with leaping attacks, which can be quite dangerous. And their attacks have kind of weird hitboxes, which can be a little bit of a problem sometimes. Finally, they do have a grab, which will, unsurprisingly, bypass your block. Oh, broke my guard. Gotta be careful with that stamina. Also don't want to get pinned against the geometry. There are just enough minor obstacles here to really get in your way. I don't know what he was shooting at. It certainly wasn't me. Well, my timing was way off there. There goes someone texting me. They will have to wait. Oh, that hurt a little. Fortunately, he decided to give me a little time to chug. Right decent of him. Ow. Yeah, these guys are definitely not boss class threats, but they're definitely a cut above your standard enemy. They have tons of reach and they're weird-ass weapon hitboxes. And they can be a little bit of a threat, especially if you're not good with dodging attacks like me and prefer to shield tank as much as possible. Oh! The good news is, once I deal with this guy once, that'll be the end of that. They don't respawn. Well, there is one respawning Titanite demon, but it's not this one. Oh, shit. That went all wrong. Well, we are wearing him down bit by bit. He's lost quite a bit of his health. So once this guy's down, I'm probably going to want to stop for an Estus refill, considering how many hits I've taken from him. But again, he's not going to respawn, so that'll be the end of our worries as far as the Titanite Demon is concerned. What did he drop for us? Demon Titanite. Now, Demon Titanite is used to upgrade weapons that are made from boss souls. We haven't fought any bosses that have actually dropped a soul for us yet, so we don't have any such weapons, but we'll be getting them eventually. Matter of fact, it is likely that we will gain our first boss soul in this very video. I would have liked to get his man catcher, because that is actually classified as a halberd, and as such it's something that Salad would probably enjoy playing around with, but that is a rare drop, and it's not even that great, so no huge loss.
Well, I will use it needed.
Alright. Should be able to afford the trifecta of these. Indeed we can. That leaves us a little bit short with respect to having enough to actually upgrade at that last step. Don't have any consumable souls, do I? No, I don't. You know what? I'm actually just gonna go kill those 3 hollows at the entrance to the parish, get a couple more souls, and then do the last upgrade I can on my great scythe for the time being. I think, with dexterity scaling, that should actually bring it up beyond the strength of our halberd there, at its current +5. And so we can start experimenting with the scythe. And experimenting with oversized harvesting tools is always a good time. Okay. That is just a bit more than we need right there for our final no ember level scythe upgrade. And then hopefully we'll meet some folks who will drop large Titanite shards for us, because it's going to be a while before we can actually purchase those. There is a merchant with large Titanite shards in his inventory, but that's still some ways before we get to meet that guy. Try ranged battle? I'm not sure about that. I think I'd rather take my chances toe-to-toe with the Titanite Demon than worry about him chucking lightning at me the whole time. And welcome to Darkroot. And here's our first new enemy for the area. Some sort of tree man. They're not too tough. Definitely a cut above your standard hollows from the Burg and the Parish, but manageable. They are a little more threatening in one respect. They have a grab. If they kind of rear far back with both of their viney arms, they're going to try and grab you, and you cannot block that. Now I was going to check on the strength of this versus the scythe, and it's actually a little bit of a downgrade. The halberd plus... Oh, I'm a dumbass. I forgot to upgrade it. The tree men, by the way, they do have a very high chance of dropping the status cure mosses, all 3 of the base types. So that'll definitely let you build up on your poison cures. Yes. Yes, Andre is a blacksmith. And that's exactly what I'm going to use his services for. Okay, now how does the site stack up? Well, still a little bit less. I guess it just has lower base damage than the basic halberd, but it does have much better dex scaling, so that'll get better in the long run. So we'll just keep using our base halberd for the time being, and once the Great Scythe pulls ahead in the damage race, which I guarantee it will, that is when we will start using that. And there we are, the official announcement of our new place. Now, the path going that way leads to Darkroot Basin. I will be going there, possibly even in this video. It all depends on how things go for me, but yeah, Darkroot Basin is a smaller area and largely optional. It has a mini-boss, it has some neat stuff. We might get there today, we might not. Get a little closer. Don't be shy. Get a little closer with Arid's Solid Extra Dry. That, I believe, was the grab. And see this little bit of spiky shrubbery right in front of me? Notice how much it looks like the tree man's head? Not sure if we can wake that up early. Yep, there we go. Tree men can hide themselves as just regular little bits of the landscape. They seem to want to keep giving me blood red moss clumps, which are the most useless kind. Those halt your bleed buildup, and if you're getting hit with bleed buildup, you don't really have time to use a curative. Not a whole lot of sun here to praise, honestly. This right here. That is the door that's locked with that rather expensive crest that Andre has in his inventory. We'll want that eventually, because we do want to have that door open to us, but that's a big investment, and we're in no hurry. Bonfire ahead? Bonfire ahead? But all I see is a blank wall. Oh, wait. Yeah, this is a little bit of a suspicious wall, but overall not too much suggesting there's a hidden door there, so this is definitely the kind of case where messages left by other players can be very helpful to you. So let's light up our new checkpoint, and I still have 10 Estus just standing by, so I don't really need to kindle this just now. Maybe we will later if we come by with a lesser amount of Sunny D on our person. Hey, there's a treasure there. Yeah, surely these clumps of spiky shrubbery all around it couldn't be anything suspicious. Oh wait, yes they totally could. Well, those guys do pack a punch, I'll give them that. Take your swings, and I'll take mine, and totally miss. This is embarrassing. Well, that's one down. 3 down. Finally, some moss we can actually make use of. Was that all of them? Okay, that appears to have been the lot. Well and good then. And here we have a nice big open space of forest. That tree looks a little more mobile than most plant life. I think I'm going to leave that alone for the moment, though. Be wary of trap, huh? Something we will want to show a little more immediate concern about is these lying statues here. If you approach, they will rise from their slumber and try to take a piece out of you. They are the hard-hitting but slow-moving kind of enemy. But on the downside, they are capable of using magic to make you slow too. I am very slow-moving right now, and that weird little stumbling animation you just saw me do is what happens when I try to roll while I'm under the effects of that spell. Fortunately, it doesn't last too long. As you can see by my newly regained sprightliness, I am back on my feet, and I can roll again, which is a definite benefit. I think those guys can drop pieces of their armor, which is quality armor, but quite heavy. Nothing I would want to use because I am trying to remain fleet of foot. And fleet of roll, more importantly. I see you. Yeah, this is that whole beware of trap thing. When you try to approach the treasure on the corpse there, you expose yourself to a lot of attackers. Alright, we'll get Tree Man out of the way first, and then we'll lure this guy out, and hopefully not get squashed by him. Damn it! He doesn't want me to get a drink. Well, we'll let him cast his slow spell, and he can make me as slow as he wants as long as I get my health back. Rather be slow than dead. They're not quick on the attack, so I have time to get my stamina back. And just simple circle strafing will let you avoid a lot of their attacks quite a lot of the time. They don't take a lot of damage. But little by little you can wear them down. Got any more Tree Man signs around here? Not that I can see. Think there might be one more bit of ambush sprung on me as soon as I grab this, which is the Elite Knight armor set. It's actually really good armor, but it's going to be still too heavy for us. Oh, more tree dudes, and a stone dude. The tree men are considerably quicker on their feet, so I'm going to try and lure them over and take care of them first. They are quicker on the attack as well. Okay, one down, very good. Oh! Yeah, that lunging stab by the stone guys, not as slow as some of their other attacks. One to be careful of. reason they miss an attack. In addition to being a good time to get your hits in, it's a good time to get your chugs in if you need to. He had me slowed and still couldn't get me fast enough. Alright, well, we did use up a lot of our Estus, but at least we got a goodly amount of souls out of all that, and we did get the Elite Knight set, which again is very nice armor. Maybe someday I'll be able to keep my fast roll with having that equipped. It's not terribly heavy. Nope, can't damage these guys until they've had a chance to stand. Oh, you want to cast? I'll be glad to take that opportunity. Anything else worth exploring around here? Oh yeah, these snake things. They're just kind of two-headed snake dudes who hang out on trees, and they're nothing major. I think they might do poison damage, but they're a very minor enemy. But they do often drop egg vermifuge, which is a rather unusual curative item for a rather unusual status effect. We'll see what that's for eventually. Oh, another you, huh? Well, we might as well clear them out. No, you don't. They're worth a nice 600 soul bump, too. That's quite respectable money at this point in the game. I feel like there might be another path over here somewhere. Indeed, indeed there is. Be wary of pincer attack. Yeah, when you start down this path, this tree likes to come after you, but we're not going to give him a chance. Yeah, he triggers his wake up shortly after you start down into this little cul-de-sac, I guess you could call it here. Yep, there's that poison buildup. But they really don't hurt you very much. And a partisan. This would be fun to play around with if I were using spears. The partisan is very similar to the basic spears, like the basic spear and the winged spear. The main thing that distinguishes the partisan is that, unlike most spear weapons, it has a sweeping attack, much like the halberds are too. You know what, before I go and rest at the bonfire and deal with all that, let's take a little side trip and see what we can do with that curiously squirmy tree. Imminent illusory wall. Well, I guess you could call it a wall, of sorts. Truth be told, I don't really remember much about what's over here. I know there are some rare enemies that you don't see much of throughout the game. These little frog manta ray type dudes. Though they have very impressive tongues, they're not terribly dangerous. Of course, now that I've said they're not terribly dangerous, I'll probably get my shit kicked in by them. But yeah, I think this is just about the only area they actually appear in. Another wiggly tree. We'll just cut our way through that. There's nothing they can do to harm you. You'd think Salad would be a little friendlier to tree creatures and tree men, but maybe it's a rivalry thing. And I really do not remember what's around here, so I'm playing it cautious. I have not done this section in quite some time. I see a statue man. Oh, more frog dudes. Not a great threat. But of course, 3 of anything, if you get pincher attacked or stun locked, can be dangerous in this game. These guys do occasionally drop a nice item, as I think that one on the right just did. Green blossoms, yes. We'll look at that in a moment as soon as I'm safe. Okay, statue guy has not been activated, so let's take a look at those blossoms. The hell is it? There we go. Temporary boost to stamina recovery speed. So if you know you're going to need to do a lot of blocking, a lot of rapid attacking, a lot of rolling, you can pop one of those to temporarily boost your stamina regen. Very nice. And the egg vermifuge removes parasitic egg from body. All this stuff about the egg bearers and the flame of chaos. Yeah, we're gonna be learning about those in the future. And about having ourselves infested with a parasitic egg. Fun times ahead for Salad. You just stab to your heart's content, as long as I can keep dancing around you. You can even cast a slow spell if you want. I don't think it's going to help you. Soul of a Proud Knight, I believe, is a fairly hefty consumable soul as such things go, so not a very unique treasure, but one worth having nonetheless. Now, this whole area is very optional and something you would never see unless you thought to poke your way past the wiggly tree. I know there's going to be at least one statue guy up this way, that much I do remember, but where this ultimately leads, I cannot recall. Oh, this is back the way I came. That's not what I was looking for. And I know there's another upward path around here somewhere. I think. Ah, this is what I was thinking of. Do not remember where the hell this actually leads. Hey, buddy. This one might be considered a little more dangerous than the average because you're kind of bottlenecked into a narrow path while you're fighting him, unless you manage to dance your way around him. But I'm not going to try and do that, I'm just going to take him out. Keep telling you, man, when I've got a clean shot at you, you don't want to waste your time with that slow spell. Ah, this is where that ends up, okay. And that gives us access to the Wolf Ring. Let's take a look at that. It is a treasure of Artorius the Abysswalker, who had an unbendable will of steel and was unmatched with a great sword. we will most definitely be learning more about Artorias in the future. For now, we can just see that his ring boosts poise. And what poise is, it's given by some items like the wolf ring and by some armor. And that is a measure of your resistance to being stunned. So if your poise is high, you can tank hits without flinching, and you are very difficult to stunlock. Pretty nice, but something we're probably never going to have a lot of, given our preference this run for light armor and fast rolling. Alright, other than the boss fight, that's about all we're going to do in Darkroot Garden right now. And for the boss fight, I'm going to want to get myself into human form, because there's a buddy we can summon. So I'm going to head back to that bonfire, spark it up so we can get our full complement of Estus, and we're going to take on a boss. A completely optional boss, by the way, but why not? And we're going to need that 2 humanity, so let's pop one real quick like. Okay. Actually, before I have a sit at the bonfire, let's use our soul items. Got a little extra, maybe we can get some additional leveling up out of the bargain. Nearly breaking the 5 digits. Not bad for a little exploratory run. Alright, what do we want? Gotta have endurance. And bump our dex a bit. You know what, I've barely touched my vitality, and I have such a high starting. Well, you know what? It just feels wrong to have our strength higher than dexterity, even if we're never going to level strength again, so dex it is. Oh, and while we're here, we do now have the Pyromancy Flame, and I might as well attune that combustion spell. Attuning is just how you equip magic. It can only be done at a bonfire, and the number of spells you can attune is determined by, appropriately enough, your attunement stat. I like to have 2 attunement slots, even if the character isn't very magic-oriented, so I'm going to want to raise my attunement enough eventually to get 1 more, but for now there's only 1 thing we can cast, so I'm not going to worry about it. And the Pyro Flame, if I recall correctly, yep, it is weightless, so I'm going to go ahead and equip that on my weapon offhand. And this is what combustion does. Foof. Foof. Not exactly a whole lot of range as magic goes, but does good damage. And if there's an enemy that is not very vulnerable to physical damage but doesn't like fire, very handy against that sort of thing. Alright. Let's repair our stuff. And I think that's all I can do with my souls really at the moment. So we'll go ahead and reverse hollowing and kindle this bad boy up. Go summon our buddy and take on the boss. And I am, of course, once again exposing myself to potential invasion here. So we'll try not to take too much time about this. But I do want to clear these trees out so they don't follow me. Damn it. Let's get you guys out a little more into the open. Whoop, gotten a little close there. Lug. Not major enemies, but you do have to treat them with a little respect when they're in groups. True of pretty much everything in Dark Souls, really. On a more positive note, if I hug the right, or rather the left wall here, I shouldn't really activate any enemies up until the very end of the path. Just to be safe, though, I'm going to take you out. I do think we're going to have to take on one statue guy near the boss exit, but that's okay. We've certainly had our share of battles with those. We know how to beat them. Okay, we had a corpse fall through the floor. That's somewhat unusual. Hey, bro. As the fabled hedgehog once said, you're too slow. Is it me, or is there something glowing under the shrubbery there? I dare say there is. And it's Witch Beatrice. Beatrice is a very good friend for the upcoming boss fight because it spends a good deal of its time out of melee range. And Beatrice, as you might expect of a witch, has some pretty nasty projectile magic she can throw at it during those periods. Yeah, if we had projectile magic, we could do likewise, and we could also pot-shot at it with a bow, but that's not really something worth doing. Now, this enemy has nothing but magic-based attacks, nothing physical whatsoever, so I'm going to want to put on the shield with the best magic defense. Looks like that's either going to be the Knight Shield or the Hollow Soldier Shield. Oh, actually, the Wooden Shield is even better. The Cracked Round Shield? That's interesting. Wonder why that's highly magic-proof. Anyway, yeah, we're actually going to put on an otherwise rather crappy shield for this, and that's actually going to be our best bet. Interesting, I did not know the Cracked Round Shield actually had quality magic defense. Ladies, gentlemen, and all points beyond and between, meet the Moonlight Butterfly. Beatrice, gotta get your aim right. There you see one of its attacks, which is to shoot magic spines at you. There's another one, which is a big-ass laser, which if your timing is on point, you can roll through. Use your iframes. There's a homing attack, which, as you can see, does a lot of stability damage. Of course, the Cracked Round Shield doesn't have very good stability. Notice that its health is already half gone. We have seen all of its attacks, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it off. Every now and then it does have to land. Burn, baby, burn. And yeah, that's what it lands for, is to blast you with an area of effect attack, but we almost got it killed. Thought I could finish it off, but not quite. But there's Beatrice finishing the job. I played very clumsily there. Usually I can dodge the homing attacks and get out of the way in time to not get blasted by the area of effect attack, but the important thing is we won. It tends to be a pretty quick boss fight, especially if you have Beatrice on hand. As long as you keep dodging and stay alive. In fact, I think B could pretty much solo that boss. Anyway, we get our customary humanity. Not a homeward bone this time, but it's not too far back to the bonfire, and more interestingly, we get the soul of the Moonlight Butterfly. Where does that sit? I think it sits in the regular item pile. Yes, it does. Soul of the mystical Moonlight Butterfly, which flitters in the Darkroot Garden. Special beings have special souls. The butterfly's soul is a creation of Seath the Scaleless. Interesting. The Scaleless dragon who betrayed the other dragons, you may remember from the intro, he created the butterfly, as well as having those channelers as his minions. Anyway, you can consume a boss soul and get a decent quantity of souls for it, more than most consumable souls. But they can be used later in the game to craft unique weapons, and so we will be saving it for that purpose. I suppose it's a nice enough view if you're just wanting a look at the night sky. Can't really see much of the forest from there, though. You know, Andre mentioned a divine blacksmith in the Darkroot Garden. I think Andre's friend may have seen better days. Well, at least we can snake his stuff. Get the watchtower basement key, and it looks like he's got something else there. A divine ember. Oh, and we do get a homeward bone. Just not directly from the boss fight. Yeah, that's interesting. It looks like he's got a baller shield here. Well, let's take a quick look at that ember. That's under key items, right? Yep. Ember required for etc., etc., property of the church and intended for divine blacksmiths. Divine weapons are for undead hunting. Use against undead and the pawns of necromancers. Well, that's something we'll have to file away. And we'll see if Andre's interested. I betcha he will be. Thanks, Beatrice. I like these spacey twinkles that just kind of emanate from the sides of the bridge here. I don't know what that is exactly. Maybe the Moonlight Butterfly leaves sparkly dust like Mothra dust, but I don't know. Anyway, optional boss, but it's some relatively easy souls. Oh wait, I was bowing to the wrong place before. This is where Beatrice was. Thank you, ma'am. You know, I was giving some thought to doing the Darkroot Basin at this point, but we've gotten almost up to the 1 hour mark. A little past 50 minutes if my look at the clock is correct here. So I think what I'm just going to do is go spend some of these here souls, take that ember to Andre, and then I think we'll call it a day. Here what? Also, apparently there's a treasure here that I didn't notice behind the rock on my way out. Well, we've got a little time to spare. I'll start the path to the Darkroot Basin, if not actually do the mini-boss in that area. Just a soul item, but they never hurt to have. Got no time for your nonsense, tree man. That's not the good moss. Give me the good moss. Take care of this guy real quick left. No moss. Alright, this side path here is what leads to the Darkroot Basin, which you can see that body of water down there below the cliff. We're just going to go a little ways down, enough to fight one more Black Knight, and I believe there is a crystal lizard we can take out in this area. I think that might be our lizard friend up ahead on the path. Yes, imminent lizard. I see you. You're not getting away. No, you are not. Titanite chunk. What we really need now is large Titanite shards, but chunks will be good to have in the future, so that is a definite plus. And I think a little bit further ahead we will have our next black... Bye, lizard! We will have our next Black Knight. He's around here somewhere. Don't want him sneaking up on me. Some leather gear and a better bow. We'll take it. Where can I go from here? Can I go anywhere from here? That looks like a safe fall. And indeed it is. Now, if I go down any further, I'll be into the main part of the Darkroot Basin. I think the knight is somewhere up here. Where are you at, buddy? Nope, that's the message I saw before. He must be a little further along the way. Damn it, I know I'm not misremembering this. There's totally a Black Knight here. I'll be wary of night. Okay, that's probably a good sign that I'm on the right track. And another one. Hi, guy. Oh shit! I forgot to put my good shield on. Well, this is going to be exciting. He is going to be damaging me through my shield, which is not the most gorgeous situation, and this shield sucks. Okay, quick, baller shield on. Okay, that was not the shield I wanted, but it's 100% physical block, and that is going to have to be good enough. Okay, now, baller shield on. Much better. Equipment swapping on the fly is always kind of exciting. Oh, and I finally got that Black Knight shield, along with a Blue Titanite chunk. Interesting. Tough enemy ahead? I think not. And a little further down this path is where I ought to be finding. I believe this is the Grass Crest shield. Indeed it is. Let's have a look at that. The Grass Crest shield is an old medium shield, metal shield, of unknown origin. It is lightly imbued with magic, which slightly speeds stamina recovery. So in terms of stability, it's certainly not bad, but it's not brilliant. The real benefit of this one is that stamina recovery boost. As such, the Grass Crest shield is rather popular with two-handers, because if you hold your weapon two-handed, you put your shield on your back, and any passive bonuses from the shield on your back stay in effect. So you could wield your weapon two-handed and wear the Grass Crest shield on your back and get all the benefits of improved stamina regen. And we got a bonfire here. Can't remember offhand where exactly this leads. Let's find out. Okay. That's nowhere we want to be just now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head on back to Andre, get his thoughts on that there Divine Ember, and then I don't know if I want to level up that Black Knight shield or not now that I have a baller. But in any case, we can head back there, we can maybe get some levels up, and then I think we'll call it a day. And back to the parish we go. Andre, got a present for you.
My, that's a rare ember you have there. I've seen one of those before. It's the ember of a divine blacksmith. Might you consider leaving that with me? I can produce divine weapons with a flame such as that.
Why not?
Thanks for that. You've made a fine decision. You soon shall see.
So now we have the option of modifying our weapon along the standard path. We can also modify along the raw path, which is something I believe Andre can do by default, but I never thought to look at it before. The raw path, it has its uses in Dark Souls 2, but in the original Dark Souls, I don't think there's really any point to ever using it, because what it does is increase a weapon's base damage while reducing its scaling. So in the long term, going for the better scaling is always the way to go. And we also now have the Divine Path. If we have a +5 weapon, we can modify it up to a Divine type weapon, but we would need Green Titanite for that, and we don't have any. I'm not sure offhand what the benefit of making a shield divine is. Unless it's just for the shield dash. I'd have to look into that. Anyway. Yeah, we still don't have any large Titanites, so we can't upgrade any of our standard gear any better. Nothing we need to buy right now, I don't believe. Oh, we could pick up some smith boxes. That would be somewhat sensible, I suppose. But I want some more level ups right now, so I think I'm going to hold off. Let me take a look at what the, yeah, we have 4 Twinkling Titanite. That would certainly not be enough to max out the Black Knight shield, so I think I'm going to stick to the Baller for the time being. I'll have to check the stats on that, see if this is worth doing in the long term. And as you can see, reinforcing a weapon along the Twinkling Titanite route, it does cost quite a bit more than going up a level along the standard route. You have anything new to say, Andre? Yeah, I think we kind of found that Divine Blacksmith. He wasn't looking so good.
Don't get yourself killed. Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Thanks, Andre. Alright, just gonna make a stop at the bonfire. And let's gain some levels. Let me just check myself for consumable souls. I don't think I have any. Nope. What can we level? Well, I always want to gain that endurance. Some vitality would be good. Oh, and just 1 point of attunement would be enough to increase our attunement slots from 1 to 2. Do I want to do that now? Ah, what the hell. Gonna need it sooner or later. Alright then, so if we get our hands on a second pyromancy, then we have a slot for it, or if we branch out into other types of magic, we'll be able to equip that. But for now, I think we're pretty well set. Just one last word to any contributors to my Patreon. Thank you again. And, Zangamarth, I got your request for using your handle in the acknowledgements, but anyone else, if there's a particular name or alias you'd like me to call you by when I put up the acknowledgements come December, please make sure you get that to me. You can message me through Patreon, through YouTube, or just email me at un@skunkfuqua.com. If I do not hear from you on that front, I will just use your Patreon name for the acknowledgements. So if you want something other than what you have on that account, please make sure you let me know. Alright then. That's enough for one day, and thank you all for joining me once again. Not a real productive session, but we did take out a boss and explore some optional areas. So, hey, we could do worse. Take care, everyone. Wish me luck on that job hunt, and I'll see you next time.